Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Mannii here and welcome to another video on the channel. Today, as you can tell by my smile, it is a football related video, which means that it's not FIFA related. Well, kind of self-explanatory there. I will be telling you who will be winning the Premier League and who will be getting relegated this season. So if you guys want to watch till the end, it would help me out a lot. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like this video. And one more thing guys, before we get into it, for every position, yeah, you heard me, for every position we get wrong, I will be giving away £5 at the end of the season. So if I get all 20 positions wrong, I'll be giving away a total of £100 at the end of the season. Now it might not be just £100, it could be to 1 or 2 or 3 people. We could split it up. So get commenting down below what you think I'm gonna mess up with, or what you think your prediction is. If you agree, let's have a discussion down below in the comments. But also follow me on Twitter if you guys want to further this debate and get involved with the community. So that would be a huge plus. So guys, let's get straight into the predictions. So as you guys can tell by the red light, we will be starting off with the relegation positions, and in 20th place I think it can only go to one team. Now you guys are probably going to hate me so much because that team is Southampton. Now I don't think that they've done the best business letting their best goal scorer, their only goal scorer, go. And also, to be honest man, I know Hasenhuttl is a good manager, but one thing I do have to say, every season they lose badly. I think it was 8-0 2 seasons in a row, something like that. It is crazy how many times this happens, and I just feel like they're one huge loss away from that happening again, or what. I just think it's going to happen again. And the reason why I think that's going to happen more than ever is because they are losing a key player like Vestergaard. Right guys, so in 19th place, look, I don't want to talk about this too much because their football is so boring, super boring, and I don't want to bore you and me talking about this team too much. So in 19th, it is Burnley. Now the reason why I'm saying Burnley is, firstly, as I said, they're boring. But secondly, they are the Premier League's Stoke currently. And what happened to Stoke? They got relegated. And the reason they got relegated was because they can't play pace. Now even the teams coming up from the Championship have pace in behind, such as Norwich, Watford, and even Brentford. Actually, I think Brentford has the most pace in behind. So yeah. But the reason why I think they will go down is because they don't have enough in the tank. The manager's not been backed enough. Sean Dyche is a good manager, but I feel like Burnley have prolonged their stay. So, yeah. In 18th position, I'm going to be real with you, I think it's going to be Watford. Now, this one was close between Watford and Norwich, but it has to be Watford in my opinion. I mean, they had an excellent defensive record in the Championship, and as we know, guys, teams that actually attack well in the Championship and then go up into the Premier League have more of a chance of surviving, because firstly, their defensive record is going to be poor in the Premier League regardless. It sounds bad to say that, but it is. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the quality of players they are going to be coming up against week in and week out. Now Watford have addressed that with Danny Rose. However, do you think that Watford have enough in the tank to stay up? I don't know. They need goals. So who did they bring in? Dennis, a good striker but not Premier League proven. And also Joshua King, who's Premier League proven but doesn't score goals. So honestly, everything this season is up to, and I'm telling you, it is up to Ismaila Sarr. If Ismaila Sarr has a brilliant season, then only, in my opinion, Watford will stay up this season. But you know what? That moves us swimmingly into number 17th. So in 17th place, I'm going to have to go with Norwich. Now, Norwich have actually made some decent signings, and honestly, the way that they've attacked in the Championship, I just feel like they'll have a little bit more than Watford. I think they'll have more goals than Southampton, and I also feel like they will have more goals than Burnley. I mean, most people will. But honestly, I think Norwich will just about do enough to stay up, guys. And yeah, I also think the signing of a young little midfielder, Scottish midfielder, will be doing bits for them. Like, I really do. And the maddest thing is, like, I read a stat the other day, or was it today? I think it was today, where he, like, normally Chelsea youngsters don't go out to Premier League teams on their first loan, and he did. And he's probably going to be starting. and he is basically going to be replacing or trying to fill in the shoes of Buendia, who is an amazing talent. In 16th place, we're going to have to go with Brighton. Now, I'm only going to say this once and once only, Yves Bissouma. And the reason I'm saying that is because, honestly, he is incredible. One thing about Brighton, though, even though they've lost Ben White, I still feel like they'll do bits because of the system that they play. I just think that they're the team that everyone calls the XG team because they don't score enough goals or enough goals to compare to their numbers that they've created, which was pretty much the whole of last season. I feel like they should have done better than 16th. But I'm not gonna lie, do I think that players like Neil Maupay and also Trossard will score them extra goals that they were being put on a plate for? I honestly don't think so. So that's why I'm just gonna keep them at steady Eddie 16th, and they're gonna be in a mix with relegation again. In 15th place, I actually think it's going to be Crystal Palace. Now, I'm not going to dive into this too much because I'm just going to say Patrick Vieira. Now, he's not been, or he is not a proven manager. I don't know if that's going to help him or make things worse for him because Ollie's not a proven manager and technically he's done okay at United, and we'll talk about that later. But so it can go one way, or it can go the Frank Lampard way, where you're kind of overrated or you've done nothing and then you go into a decent job and then flop and then get sacked. So that is what will happen. He's got big boots to fill because Roy Hodgson honestly is a manager of just keeping teams up. That's what he's good at, and I think Palace will be in a relegation fight. However, they do have two incredible players in Eberechi Eze and also, I feel like I butchered his name, but also Wilfried Zaha. Like, honestly, these two players on their day can take teams out, even the best of teams, and we've seen that before. Now in 14th place, I'm going to have to go with Newcastle. Steve Bruce, I'm not going to lie, even though you guys might hate him with the football that he plays, he is a decent manager, like just keeping teams up. He's not good where it comes to style of play, but at keeping teams up, he's good. He's also got the likes of Alan Saint-Maximin, who is incredible. They've also got Joe Willock. Hopefully, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet. If they get Joe Willock, this is providing they get Joe Willock. 14th place is on the cards for them, and I would say that they should be player of the relegation fight just because of those two players. They've got quality, and Alan Saint-Maximin shouldn't even be in Newcastle. Like, he's better than them. In 13th place, I'm going to have to go with Brentford, and the reason why I'm going with Brentford is because of Ivan Toney. Now, this guy is a goal-scoring machine in the Championship, and I know the Championship is a step up, but we saw what Leeds did in the Championship a couple of years ago, scoring goals for fun, and then coming into the Premier League and continuing what they were doing. Now, I honestly feel like Brentford will do well and probably do the best out of all of the teams, just because of Ivan Toney. I feel like he'll carry them heavily and score quite a few goals. You know what? I'm just going to sit here, and this might be bold, this might be brave, but I'm going to sit here and say to you guys that Ivan Toney will score 15 goals at least this season in the Premier League. Play it back to me at the end of the season. Watch. Now in 12th place, I am going to have to say sorry to all you Wolves fans, because if you did not lose Nuno Espirito Santos, this could have been your season to fight for top 8. And I'm saying top 8 because maybe you could be in the Conference League. You could be, maybe. But without him, you're changing up the tactics that you guys have instilled in your players for the last 4 years, which is crazy. And honestly, he was a great manager. He's made Ruben Neves one of the best players in the Premier League in his position, and he's only gonna get better. If he deserves a move to a bigger club too. But honestly, I just think that losing your manager and also losing Rui Patricio is big, because that's a leader as well, rather than just your goalkeeper. He is a leader. He is an amazing goalkeeper too. And I just think that, yeah, there's not much to say about Wolves other than 12th place. In 11th place, I'm going to have to go with Everton. Now, I think Everton is an amazing squad. I think they've got some great players. They've got James Rodriguez. They've also, I think they've probably gotten rid of Guilty Sigurdsson now. He better be out the door, because what he's done is disgusting. I don't really want to talk about that. But they've got James Rodriguez. They've got our big boy Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. They've got ballers all around. They've made some smart signings as well. I think they bought Demarai Gray for like 1.5 mil. They've actually done some good business. this window. I think they've bought Andros Townsend. Imagine I'm getting the club mixed up right now. And I'm trying to not look at my notes. But honestly, I think that they will be 11th, mainly because it is a transitional period for Rafa Benitez. He is a great manager. I think he will do well with this squad, but I think he will do well with this squad later, not this season. I think this is a transitional period, getting to know the team and just producing bits with them. And Everton actually last season were quite good under Carlo Ancelotti in the first half. They were actually balling hard with that trio of James, Allen and Doucouré. They really were balling well, and those players are still in the club, so you never know what can happen with this team. I think Everton are one of those teams that you can't really predict at all. They could have an amazing season, finish top half, or have a poor season and finish 11th. They won't finish 13th, 14th, 15th. They won't, like, forget about it. Now in 10th, this is where it gets juicy. It honestly gets juicy over here. And in 10th, I'm going to have to go with West Ham. Oh my. Now, I didn't want to put West Ham here at all. I just think that they've got ballers. But if you take out Jesse Lingard from that team, you're taking out a lot of goals. And I do rate their squad. I do rate Declan Rice. I do rate Souček. I do rate Kufal. I do think they're going to have a good season. But in reality, finishing top half of the Premier League table is not that bad for West Ham. I think they're going to have a good season this season. I just feel like every team is going to up the competition this year with fans back in the grounds. So no offense to you, West Ham, but I just think it is what it is. But one thing I will say about West Ham, I think Antonio is going to have an incredible season this year. I don't know. I just have an inkling. In 9th place, I'm going to have to go with Aston Villa. Yes, I know they're kind of high, but the reason why I've put them so high is because the Jack Grealish deal has actually helped them do wonders with their squad. And when I mean wonders, I mean they literally sold him for 100 M's. They picked up 3 ballers, not 1, not 2, but 3 ballers to replace 1 player. And it just makes their team a lot more well-rounded. Those 3 ballers are Buendia, Danny Ings, and also Leon Bailey. Even if Leon Bailey, for example, doesn't perform, you've got 2 players who have proven themselves in the Premier League. What was I trying to say? Over and out, outside and in, everything and out, every way and in. I don't know, but you know what I'm trying to say. They're gonna do well, at least 2 of them, and if they do that, they will definitely get top half of the table. So I'm gonna say Villa in 9th. Now this is where it gets saucy. The top 8. So let's get straight into it. So in 8th place, I'm going to have to go with Spurs. I mean, you know why. You guys know why. It's not Leeds. Yes, it's Spurs. And that's mainly because Harry Kane might just leave. Now, I know that they've made some decent signings this window in Romero and also Gil. But do you honestly think, firstly, I don't think Gil gets into that team at the moment. And secondly, Romero he honestly isn't proven at this level. Like, he's had an amazing season in the Serie A. I think he was their second best defender in the Serie A or something. But look, he is young. He's not proven yet. And I know that you could say the same about Varane or other players that we're going to talk about. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because who is going to be his Premier League partner? Who is going to be in the defence for Tottenham this season? I don't rate Reguilon at defending. I don't. So who's it going to be? So yeah, I mean, look, I'm just saying that Tottenham don't have a great defence. Adding Romero to that definitely strengthens it. But they're also losing around about 30 goals in Harry Kane. Which is crazy. In 7th place, Arsenal. I mean, they have to be together, right? It's not Leeds. Surprisingly not. The reason why I'm saying Arsenal is because Lokonga, good signing, but one for the future. Tavares, good signing, one for the future. And Ben White, good signing. Fits in straight away, to be honest. But also one predominantly for the future. Their team actually have the 3rd best record defensively in the Premier League, which I just think is amazing. Like, I didn't realize Arsenal could defend. It's crazy to say that. But what I didn't realize as well, with players such as Lacazette, Aubameyang and Pepe, They just can't score goals either. They just can't score goals. So I think, hopefully, for Arsenal's sake, if one of those three bang this season, then they'll be alright. Because last season, I think your top goal scorer was Lacazette with 13 Premier League goals. 17 in 54 games, or was it 43 games? 43 games. 43 games with 54 shots. So 17 in 54 shots, which is decent, right? 17, that's a good return, right? So Lacazette actually did bits last season for what he is. Now let's talk about Aubameyang. Aubameyang actually didn't do bits. He scored less goals in nearly 1.5 shots more. So he scored 15 goals over the season, in 70 shots, which shows how wasteful he has been. With Lacazette, you get link-up play as well, right? With Aubameyang, you don't get that. You just get goals. So if he's not scoring 20 goals a season, it is an issue. It is an issue, and you need that resolved right now. But I think that hopefully for Arsenal's sake, he can get back in form. And William needs to go, blood. He needs to go. Now in 6th place, I had to go with this team, and this team is called Leeds. Now the reason why I went with Leeds is mainly because, firstly, did you know that they scored more goals than Chelsea and Arsenal last season? And if it wasn't for Harry Kane, they would have scored more than Tottenham too. So to be honest, making this decision wasn't so hard. But one thing that they struggled with was their defense. Now they do have Diego Llorente, who is a great defender, but the problem being last season was his first season as well at the club. I think he's going to get adjusted a little bit better this season and do a little bit better. So if they are to challenge for Europa League, Diego Llorente has to play the season of his life. He is a great defender. But I also feel like Marcelo Bielsa plays a decent enough football, tactic-wise, to not just provide entertaining football, but to try and shore it up at the back a little bit. Towards the end of last season, in the last 4 games, we saw that a little bit, only conceding 2 goals. For them, that's a miracle, to be honest. But did you know they also had the 13th worst defense in the league last season? They need to rectify that. Because they're scoring way too many goals. But they're also on XG, players like what's his face? Bamford. Do you know what? This is the first time my mind went blank this video. But Bamford, he actually scored 2 goals less than his XG, which proves that they're actually creating a lot more than we think as well. So they're scoring more than Arsenal and Spurs, but they're creating even more than that. So they could score even more. So that is why I've put them in 6th. I hope my argument's good enough, but that's why I put them there. Now in 5th place, it goes to nobody else other than the English Dortmund, and that is Leicester. I mean, to be honest, I think 5th place is the only position everybody says the same thing. Every single person says Leicester, 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 Leicester. And I completely agree with you. It is Leicester. And the reason being, although they've got an aging Vardy, they still got goals in him. But they've got Iheanacho as well, who scored quite a few goals last season. They've also got Patson Daka, who will bring goals to the table, even though he's not proven. He doesn't need to prove himself yet. He can get adjusted because he's got 2 strikers ahead of him to teach him the ways. Pretty much like Greenwood and Cavani situation, but there's an extra slot there. They also got Samari, who is a good CDM. So that would be great. But they've already got Ndidi anyway. So they've got just depth after depth, and they're just solidifying their place. Now, the only problem that I can see this team having, Leicester having, is if they sell James Maddison. They do have Harvey Barnes, but will he be able to do or create the output James Maddison creates? We won't know until it happens. But if he does go to Arsenal, James Maddison, then Arsenal could be in 5th place. I really do think that he could be in 5th place. So literally, I think Leicester's chances depend on if they sell James Maddison to Arsenal. Now in 4th place, I'm going to have to go with Liverpool. Now the reason why I'm going with Liverpool is because I do think that they've got a team which will either win the Premier League, or to be fair, these 4 teams coming up either can win the Premier League or end up in their positions. Now the reason why I think that Liverpool will be the most likely candidate to hit 4th place is because they haven't really strengthened their team other than Konate, which isn't really strengthening their team, but it's bringing depth just in case Van Dijk or Joe Gomez gets injured again. Now, Van Dijk is incredible, don't get me wrong. But if he gets injured again, or if anything happens, we know what the season is going to look like for Liverpool because it's happened already. Secondly, they've got Mo Salah, who is going to score goals. They've got Mannii, who looks like he's in the form of his life already, and without the season even starting, and he's going to score goals. But Firmino is an issue, and replacing Wijnaldum is a key problem. But if I was to say one to watch this Liverpool squad, I think the season for Liverpool is determined on how well Thiago performs. Now, it sounds mad, it's a hot take, but Liverpool, I think their season will be determined on how well Thiago performs. If he performs, Liverpool will win the Premier League. But if he doesn't, Liverpool are fourth. In third place, I'm going to have to go with Chelsea. Now, the reason I'm going with Chelsea is because firstly, I know that they've just signed Lukaku, guaranteed 20 goals. I know that they've just signed Koundé, who is a great defender, but he's young and inexperienced and hasn't played in the league. But you know what? Who's going to partner him? Rudiger's good, just inconsistent. Thiago Silva is world class, but very injury prone. It just depends on how well the defense stays together. Now, I honestly think that if Chelsea won a title challenge, I do think that they will title challenge regardless. I feel like 1 to 4 will title challenge this whole season. I really think that it's going to be a 4-horse race throughout the season. But one thing I will say, Chelsea's title hopes, in my opinion, rests on one guy's shoulders, and that is Tony Rudiger. If Rudiger comes in, does his job to the best of his capabilities, Chelsea will win the Premier League. He is the one to watch. And the reason I'm saying that is because he is a monster in defense on his day. Now, it just depends what Tony Rudiger Chelsea are going to give, right? What Tony Rudiger is going to play. But one thing I do want to say about Chelsea, even though I'm putting them third, I think they're better suited to competitions. And I think that they will win the FA Cup or the Champions League again. I really do. I think they're definitely going to get silverware this season. And I think they're just better suited to a cup competition. In second place, I'm not going to lie, it kind of hurts me to put them behind City. It's going to be Manchester United. Now, I wanted to put them first, but without a CDM, we cannot do that. Just go and get Basuma, please. Like, if you don't want to spend the bucks and get Camavinga, just get Basuma. He is Premier League proven and he will do the business. But I'm telling you, United, you're probably not going to listen to me. Here's a perfect signing for you guys. But the signings that you made so far, class. Varane, great signing, will complement Maguire and definitely improves the squad. And also, Jadon Sancho is an incredible signing too. Now, one thing I do want to say about Jadon Sancho is if he comes to light straight away, forget about it. He will blow this league up. I mean, he offers 30 goal involvements every season. Yeah, in the Bundesliga. Now, I know he's young, but the good thing about him, and I know he is he has played abroad. The good thing about him is that he speaks English. He is English, and he knows these players well. He can communicate with them. So I don't think transitioning to this league will be that difficult. I really don't. But we'll see how it is for Jadon Sancho. We'll see how he performs. But based on that, I think he's my ones to watch this season for United. Depending on him, will determine how well United will do this season. I honestly think if he doesn't do well this season, I think United could finish third, fourth, or even fifth. It sounds mad, but I genuinely think that. And a lot of people will be saying, what about Pogba, what about Bruno? I think that they will have good seasons, but I feel like the one to watch this season is Jadon Sancho. There are no prize for guessing this one. In first place, Manchester City. Best squad depth in the world, in my opinion. In the world. They can fill their B team out and still probably come top 4 in the Premier League. Crazy. But one thing I do want to say, the signings of potentially Harry Kane and the signing they've already made of Jack Grealish are great signings. I don't think they need Kane because of the false 9 system that Pep played last season. I think Jack Grealish is more than enough. And I think I read somewhere, look, this could be completely wrong, but I read somewhere that Jack Grealish is open to playing as a false 9. That could be that could be career changing for him, because firstly he'll get more goals and might just be involved that much more with the team. Now, one thing I will say, Fernandinho is kind of kicking on. This season, Rodri has to step up. Like, he really does. Because I'm not saying that Fernandinho isn't good anymore. He is. But he can't play all the games in the Premier League season, can he? And I'm pretty sure City want to compete at the Champions League level more than anything. So Rodri needs to step up. And I think, obviously, KDB is going to do his business. I just think KDB is definitely one to watch this season for Man City. But I don't want to be boring and say KDB. I'm going to say Rodri is Manchester City's ones to watch. Because if he does badly, City will not win the Premier League. He will not win the Premier League. They will not win the Premier League. They will not. So if you guys did enjoy this Premier League video, I don't know how close or how tight this might be to the deadline. But yeah, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, guys.